Thank you for joining the call today, Martin. I know that you are one of the top guys over there at SEXP. I was wondering, how big is your team and who are you working with?
Yeah, okay, so thanks for having me on the show. Can we call it a show?
Yeah, no problem.
uh, Actually, we are quite a small team. So we are a bunch of friends from back in the day. We got started building on Tezos in like 2017. I think like even before it was actually released on mainnet.
Oh
So we
yeah.
we just started when Tezos was just like on just a test net. Then we just built stuff. It's quite funny. It was like super janky at the beginning and stuff, but now it's like completely different. And we are just a bunch of friends, and we are just building stuff. And basically, we just started doing more serious things as time went on. So there's just like basically me and two other guys doing engineering, and then we have like marketing or like social media person.
That's
And
cool.
so basically in the team, I am working on the contracts, which is like, or at least I consider that the most important thing. Or like if you have errors in the contracts, it's like, a pretty big deal. So I do that myself. And then the other people are working on the front end, on like the visual stuff. Yeah, like the part of the product that the people actually see. Does that answer your question? Or...
Oh yeah, that answers my question. So you guys were all friends. Where are you from exactly?
So I'm from Czechia, and the other people, so they are not doing it with their like public identities. So I would like prefer not to
Okay, no worries.
divulge much information. Yeah, so I'm from Czech, and the project is not actually headquartered in Czechia. It's just like where I'm from. The
Oh,
team is
okay.
actually distributed, and the team is not headquartered in Czechia.
Okay. So you're working with like a team of like what, 4 or 5 people, or?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, okay. I heard that the public listing, so IDO kind of thing, not IDO, the public sale got delayed a bit. Do you know what the technical reasons were for that, or we just wanted to get more
Oh yeah,
stamina?
so we are just trying to ship basically as fast as possible because everything is moving so fast in crypto. So if you just wait, then someone else is going to do stuff faster. So we just wanted to ship as fast as possible. Yeah, basically we were working really hard on shipping the product, but it also means that we didn't have enough time to spend on preparing the sale. Then we had to like delay just to make everything ready. Actually, like a lot of people when they do a sale, they just they say like, oh, send some money or like Tezos to a smart contract, then you get the token. But we actually wanted to do something different. We have so in our sale, basically you can contribute not only with Tezos but also with Cardano and Tether, the stablecoin,
Yeah.
on like Ethereum, Avalanche, and Binance Smart Chain. And so the idea is to just like try and bring more people into Tezos because most people don't actually have Tezos or like even know about it. But if they see like, oh, this is actually a working blockchain and it has a DeFi ecosystem and it's growing and there's all these projects, so maybe they want to participate, but then it's like they want to buy something and there's only like 2 hours or something to buy it and you don't have the wallet set up or anything, so you just like miss out on it basically. And so we just try to remove as many of these barriers as possible to make it easy for people to participate.
Okay, that's cool. So they're all gonna receive their tokens on the Tezos blockchain then.
Yeah, so they can contribute on the different blockchains, but then obviously they receive the SX token on Tezos. Like we actually wanted to remove the barriers to entry, basically, for as many people as possible. Like I think it's quite okay that what we have now, it lets people participate with USDT and ADA as well, in addition to XTZ. But I think it would be much better if there was like a easy way for people to participate with just credit cards. But I don't think that like we actually point people to use this like a service where you can buy crypto with credit card. But it's still like there's some friction and you have to fill in like the KYC whatever. So the farm, and so it's not like it's not as smooth as it should be. So I think
Yeah.
there's like if someone maybe like the Tezos Foundation wanted to make it easier for people to get into Tezos, maybe that's like one of the ways to do that. Just make it easier for people to get into it. Because right now, like for example, if for the longest time, if you were in New York, you couldn't even get Tezos. Like there was no exchange that you could use. And even so, like when I was at the beginning of this project, in May we had this pre-sale, and I had some friends, they wanted to actually contribute, but they said like, oh yeah, I have some money on like Bitstamp or whatever, some exchange from like 10 years ago, and like how do I get it to Tezos or like to Binance Smart Chain? Like what do I do? Because like lots of people, they just maybe they bought Bitcoin or something or Cardano, and then they actually didn't really do anything. Because like if you have Ethereum, you can like do lots of stuff with it. There's like all this DeFi and maybe NFTs, other stuff. But if you have just Bitcoin or Cardano, you probably just bought it, and then like there is nothing else to do basically. So you just sit and just don't do anything. And then when you want to actually do something, there's like lots of stuff that you have to understand quickly, and that's actually like quite complicated for lots of people.
Yeah, I think KYC is it's a big deterrent for many people. And now that Tezos is okay in New York, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so your token is launching. Your sale is launching in a few days now. Was it on the 18th, right?
Yeah, I think 17th maybe.
17th.
Like 17th to like the 2 weeks until the end of October.
Okay. Sounds cool. Sounds cool. So the SEXP token, how is it that you guys are able to have an exchange or an AMM that has no slippage? Does that mean an order of any size can go through and be swapped for these synthetics?
Uh-huh. Yeah, so that's actually one of the main advantages of the design. So it's actually inspired by this thing called sythetics with an X on Ethereum, and so we actually made it so that it looks similar to Uniswap or like QuippusSwap, SushiSwap, that kind of stuff. But in like behind the scenes, it's actually different, and so there is no AMM, and instead we are using an oracle, and that's why you can get like the same price regardless of how large your order is. And yeah, so the main difference, like in Uniswap, when I trade against the contract basically. Like, I get the tokens, and then the contract gets my tokens. And in this design that we have, instead, the tokens are just minted and burned. So if you trade, for example, like synthetic Ether for synthetic Tezos, the Ether is just burned, and then the synthetic Tezos is minted. And so how can this work? Because obviously, like what happens afterwards, right? So I buy something and it goes up, so then the money is missing somewhere, right? Because I have more money, and then someone else has to have less money. So who is it? So in this design that we have, actually the counterparty, you could think of the basically all the people staking the SX token are actually acting collectively as the counterparty to trade against.
So that means
So,
that
for example,
people
if you
have
are a
to.
trader,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
I was gonna say, so that means basically people stake the SXP token, and that acts as what do you call it? As the it kind of acts as the back end for when people are swapping out for the synthetics. And then
yeah. So
they get
basically,
the
they
fees.
become the house or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so
House.
when you are a trader and then you you make a profitable trade. For example, you buy, Bitcoin, it goes from 56 to 65 or whatever. And then you exit the system by, like selling the synthetic Bitcoin and getting, for example, something else like synthetic dollar, and then just going and getting, I don't know, like not like real Tezos or KUSD or whatever. So you actually like lock in this profit, right? And then that actually means that all the people that are staking are basically they have a loss right now. So how does it look? So when I stake, I have to lock some SX tokens as collateral, and then I can mint some synthetic assets, and then for like basically the synthetic USD. And then if I want the other ones, I can always like swap them. And then if I want to unlock my SX token, I have to return the SUSD. So the ones that I minted, I have to burn them. But if the pool is at a loss, like if traders have made profit in the meantime, and the pool basically owes some money, then when I'm burning the SUSD to unlock my collateral, I'm going to have to burn more than I minted. So that's how basically the loss gets.
Okay, so can I go ahead and try and restate what you said? Because I'm still a bit confused as to how this works. Basically, let me see. I have this synthetic. Let's see. Can let me see if I can share my screen. So basically, because there's no real front end right now for the people with the SEXP tokens, right? Like.
Yeah. So we are actually working on another UI for the stakers, and it will actually let you mint and burn and manage your collateral ratio.
So I'm still a bit confused. Like for SEXP, that's going to be used. They're gonna stake that into a pool, and then that means how is the traders, like the traders are gonna be able to swap for as much of the synthetic asset as they want, and they basically they burn whatever token, like they want to trade Tezos for say synthetic USD, right? And they go on this website right now, and it looks like I can screencast. It looks like. So I can screencast this. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of small, but
yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so you put in your it's synthetic, your Tezos, right? You're just straight up. Do you need synthetic assets on this exchange, or can you trade Tezos?
Yeah. So actually, this is only for the synthetic assets.
Oh, okay. So in order to get synthetic Tezos, you need to stake SEXP token. Is that correct?
So yeah, so the main way to generate the synthetic assets is the lock the collateral and then mint the synthetic assets. But for example, traders that don't actually care about the minting part and the staking part, they could actually buy the SXTZ, for example. And the most efficient way, I guess, is to have like XTZ and SXTZ pair on like Quipus Web, for example. And then which is a stable pair, right? It's just one version of Tezos to another. And so that's the way you actually get the synthetic assets. If you don't want to mint them, you just buy them. So for example, you just send like KUSD and you get SUSD, and then you can use SUSD in this in the same swap.
Okay, so let me see. So basically, so the synthetic assets, in order to mint the synthetic assets, basically a person has to have SEXP token, or do you mint the synthetic asset with Tezos?
Yeah, you have to have the SEXP token.
Okay, so the SEXP token, and in order to have the SEXP token, you have to buy it at the sale. And what determines like the price? So as more people mint synthetic assets, the SEXP token goes up in value. Is that how it works?
Well, like not necessarily, but as like when people want to mint the assets, they need to have the SEXP token, and so if they don't have it, they have to buy it, and so that should drive some like demand for the token.
What's your plans to add liquidity to QuipuSwap, or are you going to use a different one? Are you going to use like Spicy Swap, or which DEX are you planning to use, or AMM?
So actually, like the nature of the decentralized exchanges is that like anyone can actually add the pair, or at least I think Dexter was like permission somehow. But for example, QuipuSwap, you can just go and add the pair, and there's like no one can stop you. So I think actually there's going to be pairs on most of these exchanges, but I think the most efficient way to, and also like the safest way to make money for the people providing liquidity, is to have these stable pairs so that you don't have the impermanent loss. And so I think right now there's just like normal AMMs like QuipuSwap or Plenty or whatever. But over time, we should see also some DEX is focused on stablecoins and stable pairs, and they actually use like a different curve.
What's your plans to
So
incentivize
even with
liquidity?
like,
Sorry. Ooh.
say that again.
How are you going to incentivize liquidity on these pools? Or do you have? I didn't see.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so since we think that the most or the best way basically to get the synthetics is through the stable pair, so we are just gonna pick stable pair, probably either like SUSD and KUSD, or possibly another USD stablecoin, and or SXTZ slash XTZ, and or maybe both of them. And we are just going to incentivize people who provide liquidity in these pairs by giving them some tokens.
So
And
are you going to
so
have
that's one way.
you're
This
gonna
is
have a
going
farm
to,
on the website? Is that the plan?
yeah, basically. I think we're like, for example, I was talking to some people from KUSD, although KUSD is decentralized, so it actually is subject to a vote. But I was talking to some people from KUSD, and basically we could give people who stake, or like people who provide liquidity in the KUSD SUSD pair, we could give them SX token, and the KUSD people could give them also the KDAO token. So it could be like a joint project, right? And then obviously, in addition to this incentive, you also earn the fees from trading as usual, and it should be much less risky than the normal. Like for example, XTZ Plenty pair, it's actually not going to stay stable. Like it's the value of Plenty is going to go down, right? Because it's very inflationary. So you're going to suffer the impermanent loss. But yeah, if you just provide liquidity in like SUSD, KUSD, or SXTZ, XTZ, then there's no, or like there's very low risk of having losses due to the impermanent loss.
I see. I see. I did get a few questions regarding the SEXP name. People were wondering why did you choose the name SEXP? Is there any plans to rebrand the name at all, or are you guys going to keep the SEXP?
No, I think we are quite happy with the name.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, like I had like 3 people
so
asking
like
about
some
it.
people some people come to the channel and they are like, what is this? Like, why do you have this terrible name? But like, the way I think about this is basically if you came to the channel just to tell us the name is terrible, then you probably spend a lot of time thinking about it. So like, this is success, right? Like if you keep thinking about it, that's good. That's the point.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's good. I was just wondering if you guys are trying to think of a more mainstream name that might be cool. But yeah, I mean, it's a really cool concept.
No, actually, it's like it's reference to S expressions, which is like a programming concept.
Yeah. Okay.
So You can actually see, like in the logo, there is these like parentheses, so these arrows for the exchange.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, it's good for programmers and stuff like that. But I was just wondering if it has like a public appeal or not. Because like you're trying to target traders, not programmers, for this. So that just seems like
Yeah,
yeah.
but I think it's like playful or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. So basically, people have to get the SEXP. No, what does the SEXP token do exactly?
So yeah, if you buy it, then you can use it to mint the synthetic assets,
Oh, that's right. Okay.
and then
Or you can buy the synthetic assets directly
obviously
from the
like
other things. Okay.
we we would probably be adding like more uses for it as the time goes on. Like for example, if you look at PancakeSwap, you can you can use the cake token for lots of other stuff, right? Like you can use it to vote on the governance proposals, but they also have like other stuff that you can do with it. And then yeah, or for example, if you look at Binance, so this BNB, the Binance coin, you can actually use it to get like discounts on fees for trading on Binance. But you can actually use it for more stuff, right? There's like every time they have a new feature or something, they just try to think of a way to make it useful. And then obviously, like they are doing these periodic burns where they like just buy back the tokens and burn them, which makes the price go up.
Yeah.
It's basically like a different way to distribute the profit.
Okay.
So yeah, that's like or basically the minting the synthetic assets is not going to be the only use long term. We are going to keep adding more uses.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. I think that's all the questions I had from the people. So yeah, so when is the launch date going to be exactly? Is that postponed or is that going to be on schedule?
So the sale is going to be now basically from Sunday 17th to the end of October, and then in basically after the sale is over in a few days we are going to launch the token, and then everyone is going to be able to send it to whatever or like whoever they want trade it. And then the platform itself, we are going to wait for Hangzhou, which should be live in January, I think. And then after Hangzhou, we can launch the platform.
Okay, so an interesting thought is one way to look at this is if you buy the SEXP token at the pre-sale or at the sale, and then you go ahead and buy, say you mint SUSD, and then you mint so much SUSD. But as time goes by, the price of SEXP goes up, so that means you can mint more SUSD, right?
Yes, that's what it means. It also means that if it goes back down, then you might get liquidated. So
Yeah.
maybe it's good to like maybe have like a spreadsheet or something, and then like do some projections, see what's going to happen.
Do you have a page? I'm sorry, did you guys have a page with the tokenomics that I could see with like a token distribution?
No, we actually did not. I think we have just like the split of like which percentage of tokens is going to be used for what. But that's all. I think we didn't actually have a more detailed document.
Oh, okay. So you don't have the documentation for that. So there's no like graph saying like what percentage is used for farms, what percentage is used for. Oh, it says right here. Okay, locked for public sales in the future cycles, and public
Oh, yeah,
sales.
so we have some tokens allocated for platform incentives. So in addition to the liquidity incentives, we are probably going to have something to try and bring some people from similar platforms, other blockchains. Like for example, if there is a similar project on Ethereum with people actually using it, so we could, give them some incentive to actually migrate over to Tezos. That would be like pretty interesting.
Okay. And what is the lockup period for the foundation team? Since I see that's a rather large percentage, 20%. Is that like a 1 year lockup, or is it like when is the
Yeah,
distribution
it's
for
like
that funds?
it's 1 year lookup, and then it unlocks like 1 quarter every quarter.
Okay, and do you have any of the future sales being released or like a roadmap for that?
So basically, so I expect that the crypto market is going to basically, act like it always does, which means that at some point this current bull run is going to end, and then there's going to be a bear market for a couple of years, and then there's going to be a next bull run. So my thinking is that like selling tokens during the bear market is like not a good idea because like you get basically just not a good deal for the like you sell a percentage of the project basically to people and they get it for cheap, and there's like not much reason for that except like that it's just a bear market. So if we know that the project is good, we can just lock up these tokens for example like a year or 2 or 3 or whatever, and then just wait for the next bull market, and then we can say, oh, like the project is working well, and then if new people want to get involved, then there's like some couple percentage points available. So it kind of acts like so like if you have a normal startup, you have these rounds of funding, and then as the startup gets like more established, then different types of investors come in maybe, and the rounds get larger, that kind of stuff. So basically this allocation for the future sales is meant to be released or like to be made available like in the next bull market,
What
for example
decides?
when the
Mm,
yeah.
what decides the first price of the SEXP token? What are you guys going to list it at on QuickBooksWap or wherever?
So
And how much are you providing?
basically
What are you providing for liquidity? I don't see that in here as well.
so basically all the people that contribute in the fundraiser, all the contributions get added up, and then like the tokens allocated for the sale are like split between all the people who contributed, and everyone gets the same price. So basically the price depends on how many people contribute and how much they send. And yeah, and like if even it doesn't matter like if you are contributing in the first second, in the first hour, or in the last hour, whatever, like you get the same price, everyone gets the same price.
Okay, sounds good. Let me see. And you guys aren't planning to put any into the liquidity pool to begin with, or to kickstart liquidity, or do farming rewards in the beginning?
Yeah, so we don't actually have a plan to. I know some people did that, like the Planty team, I think, or maybe the Crunch team. They actually raised the money through this like a smart contract that actually locks the money um, in the liquidity pool, right? So we don't actually have a plan to do this, and instead we are just going to wait for the liquidity to grow naturally.
Okay. So you don't
But
have
it's
any
like
plans. You don't have any plans to incentivize the liquidity, even with like a small farm.
yeah. So one of the things is that like we don't want to basically take away the the money that people would earn on fees by coming in and providing a large chunk of liquidity. Like if people want to buy the token and provide liquidity, they can do this. But if we do this as well, so we're going to take like a large chunk of the fees. So we don't want to do that. So we want to let people actually earn all the fees if they want to provide liquidity. And then the other one is basically the people who need liquidity right away are mostly the people who are just going to sell, like buy it in the sale and then sell it to, like 5 days later or something. But if you actually buy this token and you think that this project is useful in the long term, that you don't really need to sell it in 5 days or whatever. So you can wait for the liquidity to actually appear or grow, in a natural way. So if we provided liquidity and like it would just help these flippers basically, and then like it would basically mean that everyone else is subsidizing the flippers, and that's like something we would like to avoid.
I think that's all of my questions as well. Is there anything that you wanted to mention to the community and cover from your side?
Yeah, so actually I would like to mention also that we have a referral program. So for people who participate in the fundraiser, you can actually generate these links, and then you can share them with other friends. And actually, not like it doesn't just give rewards to the person who shares the link, but it gives rewards also to the person who uses the link. So it's meant to benefit everyone. I think this is very nice. And actually, maybe you have a link somewhere in the video. I don't know that people can use.
I also have a link. Yep. I created
And
it,
so if you want to support Mac, you can use the link.
Yes, please. Thanks.
And yeah, so that's one way we wanted to make sure that there is lots of like people exposed to the project. And another thing that we are doing, we actually wanted to support some of the important projects in Tezos. So we are buying these ads on TZKT Explorer, which is like the main explorer in Tezos. And I think this is actually like quite nice. It's not like spam or whatever. It's actually like relevant to people using Tezos, so they can actually see an ad for our product and our sale in the Explorer. And then it's actually quite nice that the people working on the Explorer can make some money as well. And then we are also doing a similar thing with like this up and coming DeFi dashboard called Abacus, I think. It's like a dashboard that shows you like your different investments in different pools, I think in Plenty and some other stuff as well. And so we actually got some advertisement there as well. Yeah, and then like in addition to what people can see in the videos and the site of the Synths web, we are actually working on the interface for the Mintress as well. So we actually let you mint as USD, and then you have like a dashboard that shows you like how much you need to burn, to earn like a collateral, what your collateral rate is, and that kind of stuff, and like how much, like if you are underwater, like by how much, or like what's your safety margin before you get liquidated, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so it'll be
that's going to be
similar
also
to UVs or KUSD sort of thing.
I didn't catch that.
Oh, so it'll be similar to UVs or KUSD?
Yes, actually, quite similar to KUSD. There's like 4 different things you can do. Basically, it's very similar to KUSD, but maybe a little different, like in the way it presents the information.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. So yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and head over, I think to the, was it TZ Stats? TZ Stats, right? Or TZKT? TZKT. That's right.
TZKT.
And they'll have the advertisements there. Okay, cool. Well, thank
Yeah, there is like this, like how do you call it? Like a strip with this text. Yeah, so that's it.
Cool. Thank you for coming, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Bro, we need to pump it. Everybody, go to Twitter and hashtag the things. Pump it. Pump it real good. We need a good pump. Everybody deserves a nice Tezos pump.